Star Wars 7x7 episode 2537. Today I'm going back over some things that I have just not had a chance to look at and we haven't had a chance to talk about here in the show together, so I thought I would start there. And today we're looking at Star Wars Biomes, what it includes and what it doesn't include. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So, Star Wars Biomes is one of the features that was added to the Star Wars section of Disney Plus on May the 4th, so earlier this year. And yeah, between that and the vehicle fly-throughs and the Force Awakens from its nap, the Simpsons crossover situation, I just haven't had time to check into any of those things, and I imagine I am not the only person who has had that experience. Now, I mean, it's just 18 minutes. Like, it doesn't exactly last for very long, so, you know, it's kind of silly that I somehow haven't managed to make time for it. But I finally checked it out today, and in case you aren't familiar with it or wasn't clued in or you don't have Disney Plus or whatever, here's the deal. The description says, take a virtual vacation to some of the Star Wars film's most iconic and beloved locations like Hoth, Tatooine, and Sorgan as this charming series whisks you off for flyover tours of a galaxy far, far away. Now, in all honesty, I don't know if I would have put Sorgan on a list of iconic and beloved locations, but it's certainly an interesting location. I mean, you know, that's for sure. But the locations that they talk about, Hoth, Tatooine, and Sorgan, like those are the first three in the Biomes thing. It's been out for a while, so I'm sure I'm not necessarily spoiling anything when I also say that there are three other planets that get visited in this, and they are actually planets from the sequel era of movies. Specifically, they are Crait, Mustafar, and Ahch-To. Now, I know you're saying Mustafar and going, well, wait, that's a prequel era situation, and also Rogue One, right? So yes, that is in fact true. And we can eliminate the prequel era situation to some degree because Fortress Vader appears in this flyover situation, so it's definitely not prequel era in that sense. It is at least Age of Empire situation, so in between, so Rogue One, because the castle was already completed at that point. But the reason why it's a sequel era presentation is because of the fact that Kylo Ren's shuttle flies by Fortress Vader. And you wouldn't necessarily know that for sure unless you turned on the English audio description. So basically the situation where it's not just English and, you know, in subtitles, like there's no talking in general, right? It's just audio description, so that way, you know, for people who, you know, are, you know, visually challenged with seeing this stuff, there is an audio narration of what's happening on these, you know, flyovers of the various planets. And so a shuttle flies by and the audio description says Kylo's shuttle flies by, basically. So that's how you know that we are dealing with a sequel era presentation. And of course, Crait is what it is. That's, you know, purely sequel era, and so is Ahch-To for that matter. So, really, actually, as a result, prequel era is not really represented at all. I think, you know, hopefully this is not the only thing of Star Wars Biomes that they do, because it would be great to see a flyover of something like Camino, for example, right? It certainly seems to be on the level with the kind of flyovers that they did with the other planets. Like if you just spend a lot of time flying over ocean, yes, you get that in Ahch-To, but you probably get a lot more rain, comparatively speaking, than you would anywhere else. So I think that would be a reasonable one. And I think Naboo would probably have, you know, some worthy flyover stuff too. But where I think Biomes would shine really is IMAX more than anything else. I mean, if you see it on a laptop, like, you know, like that's where I watched it, or on your phone, or even if you watch it on, you know, if you have a big screen TV, if you got a, you know, 50, 60, 70 inch screen TV, you know, that certainly would probably be the closest thing, obviously, to a movie theater screen. And, you know, that's really the kind of thing it's intended for, either big screens or massive big screens. On the laptop, you can enjoy it, but you can't really appreciate the scale for what it does and the flyovers. I mean, just for the moment that snow speeders go flying by the screen over Hoth, and just the pace at which they fly, which gives you a sense of the scale, this just enormity of the view that you're getting, you definitely would do well to see it on the biggest screen you can possibly find. And whereas the ones for Hoth and Tatooine and Sorgan are rather calming and peaceful, as it were, even though there is certainly menace afoot in the Hoth one, because you see a probe droid and you see Imperial walkers in play, it's still pretty calm and yeah, tranquil almost, and it gives you sort of a meditative quality. The ones for Crait and Mustafar, however, are really not that, and you would expect it a bit from Mustafar, I suppose. But the Crait one, it does this with the Last Jedi, basically, with the presumption that the Last Jedi battle on Crait is happening, because you see it panning very slowly over the salt cake surface of Crait, and you see the lines that the ski speeders have kicked up, and on occasion a couple of ski speeders come into frame and out of frame, and they're crafting their trails and whatnot. And there's a moment where there's a ski speeder that's been shot down, and the audio description says that it's rolling up over, a third ski speeder has met its fiery end, and the music behind this whole thing is actually kind of ominous and just creating a very, very palpable sense of dread, even as it does it just very gently, basically. And it's panning through the, sort of the field of battle from the place where the ski speeders launched, right? And up through where they start to meet the line of the walkers that are approaching that base on Crait. And so you get to see the regular walkers and the guerrilla walkers going by. And something that was kind of unusual that I don't recall seeing in the movie, of course, the ski speeders left trails, but the walkers would have left trails as well. And I don't remember ever seeing those trails in the movie. Not that they're not there, just never occurred to me to look. And so as the flyover goes past the walkers, you get to see the treads that the walkers were leaving in the sand on Crait, which I thought was a really cool addition too. So not a lot happens in Star Wars Biomes, and that's okay. It's just kind of a neat, exactly what it's advertised as, flyover of various planets. And honestly, they had me at Hoth from the beginning, because that's one of my favorites, of course. So there you go, check it out. At least you'll watch it once and then you'll go, okay, I'm glad I watched that, probably. And maybe you won't necessarily ever watch it again, and that's okay too. But yeah, just experience it on the biggest screen that you can find, because I think that would really be worth the time, more so than seeing it on a smaller screen. And that is where we're going to leave things for the podcast today. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always. And let me know what you think about Biomes if you check it out. Let me know what, if Planet is your favorite, your flyover is your favorite. Please drop me a line on any social channel where you see this episode, or at home base at sw7x7.com. And may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.